Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode where nothing's easy, here to bring you another hard rant video pertaining to basically the game science devs, the people that made Black Myth Wukong. And yeah, they were a little bit upset that they lost. I get it, you know, you want to win that gold. But we're going to watch a reaction video pertaining to the drama on that, and then we'll play some video games. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go. This is on Legacy Killer HD. As a matter of fact, I'll share this with you guys right now because I wanna do my due diligence. Here you go. All right.
Very much an event that everybody says does not matter, but at the same time, everybody's still watching, and very much those that work within the industry are there at the event. It's too loud, let me know. It's a time in which we all come together to celebrate gaming and also looking to the future, in which usually there are some interesting announcements at the very least.
Yeah.
This year's event, though, definitely was a highlight. It definitely had some big announcements that at the very least everybody is talking about.
I was so surprised that Okami came out of nowhere with the sequel. And the fact that Onimusha is going to be brung back. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, well, I want new IPs. There's even Turok coming back. And I'm over here just like, there's a lot of old IPs that are coming back. And I'm over here thinking, well, we can make some new. I just feel like there's a imagination drought that's been happening lately.
Good or bad. The one thing I will say about this year's event is that it has the same hiccups as years past. What do I mean by that? The celebrity glazing just never ends.
Bro.
The advertisements sometimes related.
When I saw Snoop Dogg, I was just like, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? Just stop. He was like, I'm making a gaming studio. Okay, I'll just avoid it. Just stop, bro.
The gaming, sometimes not, very much there as well. And then the awards. The awards are always an afterthought. That's why the reaction that has been coming.
The awards have been an afterthought. I don't know about you guys, but this whole thing that they do right here, where they're just like, here's an award for you, here's an award for you, here's an award for you. Yeah, whatever. Here, best fighting game, get that shit out of the way. I remember that shit used to be in the forefront. Or best RPG used to be in the forefront. Now it's just 5 seconds. Yeah, they won. Goodbye. Peace. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know, man. It's like it's kind of discouraging because it's just like, it's not that a lot of people have been saying it's just the Game Awards. None of these awards really matter. You make it not matter when you do that. You make it not matter. You say, oh, only trailers and what's it called? Only trailers and Snoop Dogg is all I want.
Afterwards is a little bit interesting. So, Game of the Year, it came down to 6 nominees. It was Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor. Those were the nominees.
I'm gonna keep it $150. I'm gonna keep it $150. Obviously, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree doesn't belong there, but I'm gonna make a hard take, and I don't care. I don't think Balatro or Astrobot should have been up there. I'm gonna be 100% honest. The only reason that Astrobot is up there because the Western gaming sphere has nothing to show. Like, they couldn't bring up Veilguard up there. They couldn't do that shit. So all the other games, Black Myth, Metaphor, Fantasy Rebirth, Shadow of Erdtree, either from China, Japan, or from Korea. Astrobot, I guess you could say American, but it's also from Japan as well. And card games, what is Balatro doing here? The Balatro don't belong up here. I'm sorry. I don't care.
And there was already controversy with this because, one, a DLC is nominated. A lot of people don't understand why a DLC is being nominated and the fact that it was even under consideration, especially when there was other options that probably were a little bit more deserving, whether that be Silent Hill 2 Remake or Stellar Blade. And then there's also been controversy with Balatro, a poker roguelike game, that being nominated over some of those other games I just mentioned. So already to begin with, this was controversial and this was already being heavily debated. Then there was other outlets, media outlets, upset that Black Myth Wukong even got nominated. Now, the one thing I will say is that there...
What? Who? Oh, I know who must have said this. Let's keep going.
really could have been a case made for any of these games. I don't think that there was a clear front runner this year at all. So I honestly thought that Astrobot, if it started winning awards, it probably could end up winning Game of the Year, and that's actually what ended up happening. They won Game of the Year. Now, this is actually where things get really crazy. So again, while many individuals like yourself maybe, and many developers within this industry don't care about who wins and who loses at the Game Awards show, there's definitely some developers within this industry that take all of this to heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Perfectly, absolutely. Like these developers that did Astrobot, they were super excited. They were super happy. Look at his little smile. Man can't even speak right now. Yeah, people care.
And that very much seems to be the case with how the Black Myth Wukong team felt about the Game Awards and attending this event. And this is a recent clip coming from Alana Pierce. She was in attendance right next to the Black Myth Wukong team. And just to understand how passionate they felt about this, this is what she had to say in regards to the reaction to losing out on Game of the Year to Astrobot.
And I was in the front row this year. It was my first time being in the front row. I was like, wow, thanks, Jeff. Great seats.
Apparently someone on Black Myth Wukong team was crying when Astrobot won Game of the Year. Get a fucking grip. Wow. Isn't Kate Bush's... Isn't that one Twitter thing that's the fucking crazy ass motherfucker? That person, Kate Bush husband, that person's off the rails. I don't know who the fuck it is, and you know what? I don't fucking care. They're off the fucking rails. They are so... You know what? Let's just stop talking about them. I see their feed, and I'm just like, this bitch crazy. Okay? Also, I don't understand how people could be so disingenuous and so rude about somebody who wants to be Game of the Year. Somebody cried because they didn't make Game of the Year. That's completely normal. Has anybody ever seen any sort of sports anime or any sort of anime at all where the main character did not win, but he became second, but he was still crying that's literally Hajime Ippo. Wasn't there Kuroko no Basket that did that? Even Haikyuu? I think Slam Dunk also did that too. I think they lost and then they started crying. That's the most human shit ever. Notice patterns with people. If somebody laughs and berates somebody for not only losing, but also crying that they lost, they're probably not a good person. Let that be a lesson.
But being in the front row means that you can see all of the actually important people. So like next to me was the whole Sony team. Frankly, that's probably why they put me there, was because when they gave me the seat, I was with Sony. So I was with the Sony publishing team. Behind me was Joseph Faris. Just behind him was Sam Lake, both of whom I know and am very fond of. They're both really great dudes. But I could see all of the nominees and awards winners, and the Black Myth Wukong team, I don't know which person on the team, was crying when Astrobot got Game of the Year. Because you could see him just looking down the line, which is the first time I've ever seen anything like that, because generally everyone is like, Game Awards doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It doesn't matter to you. That's it. I see somebody win or lose a basketball team. I don't care about basketball. That shit don't matter to me. Of course it doesn't. It doesn't matter to you. Alana Pierce, you worked with Santa Monica Studios, right? You worked on God of War. Well, guess what? You didn't win Game of the Year. Don't worry about it. Game Awards don't really matter. Elden Ring won. They're much better. See how degrading that is? I think people need to realize exactly that they need to get out of their own bubble, because you have to realize other people's feelings. And it's weird that I'm saying that, because I don't give a fuck about people's feelings. But you have to realize that somebody out there has goals and aspirations to fulfill something. And just because you don't feel that way doesn't mean others don't. As a matter of fact, you were in the front row watching the Astrobot developers literally shaking shaking, crying, smiling, and super happy that they won. So are you going to say to the Astrobot team, hey, why are you crying? Because there were two developers up there that were teary-eyed. Are you going to go up to the Astrobot developers and say, hey, Game Awards don't matter. Your goals don't matter. I swear, sometimes I look at Alana Pierce and I'm just like, girl, you gotta get out of your own bubble. Jesus.
Wukong team were crying when they did not win, which is definitely unusual. Clearly meant a lot to them. They did an amazing thing.
I like how she's doing like a little sandwich thing with how she's speaking. It's like kind of awkward. Oh, it meant a lot to him. A little bit weird, but I guess I understand how they feel. Bit kind of get a grip, but I sort of, I sort of sympathize. I always watch how people talk because they always like to try to correct themselves every time when they speak. This is why I don't care what the fuck that I say. I know what I'm saying and I say it with my chest. But when people start to do this whole flippity dippity shit with the way they talk, I don't trust them. And I don't think that they're actually the good person that they come out to be.
But I did find that surprising. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, 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 what?
Did it look like celebratory crying? No. They were upset. Definitely upset that they didn't win. Which is also fair.
Right there. Right there. Right there. I called it. I called it. I called it. Bro, I called that shit, bruh. Bruh, I used to date people like this, bro. I'd be just like, yo, are you trying to be mean and nice at the same time? Be one or the other. I hate that shit. I hate that flippity dippity toxic positivity bullshit that she pulls. I hate that shit. Either be full on mean or be full on agreeable or just go away. You know what I mean?
But it was still just surprising.
That's what you get for showing emotion. Show emotion equals bad. Next time, chat, that you cry when you don't reach your goal, your goals don't matter. Your goals don't matter. What are you talking about? Alana Pierce said goals don't matter.
Yeah, again, this just goes to show that some people coming to this event, especially they flew all the way from China, this meant a lot to them. This meant actual legitimacy. And say what you will about the Chinese gaming market, but it has been kind of just an afterthought, especially with a lot of the mobile slop that has been coming out of that market for so long. This was the first, heavy-hitting, single-player
such a good game
experience. It was a big moment, and I
want to let everybody know that this is my game of the year. No other game comes close. This was my game of the year. I loved this game.
Can understand why the Black Myth Wukong team were dreaming about taking home honors at what they view as the premier event for Game Awards. And yeah, some of the reactions, again, get a effing grip. I don't view it that way. They're passionate. They really wanted this award. And
exactly.
I guess I can understand how some people in attendance were like, oh, why are they reacting like that? But again, it's just some developers are really passionate about this stuff. I guess I just view this as a moment not to mock them pretty much. But this,
I like this guy. That guy's a human being. I like this guy. That exactly. You literally just mocked him. I don't want to hear anything from her or any of her fucking fans and her to say something like, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way." You did, bitch. You did. Own up to it.
Ordeal very much continues because, as reported by MP First, Black Myth Wukong's studio CEO wrote Game of the Year acceptance speech 2 years ago, questioned selection criteria of the Game Awards. So yes, the Black Myth Wukong CEO, the boss, very much is calling the process into question. This report goes on to mention that, I believe this is on Chinese social media, the Game Awards this year coincided with a major update for Black Myth Wukong. This is again coming from the company's CEO. For me personally, this project that spanned 7 years has officially officially come to an end. The 4 nominations, Best Action Game, Best Art Direction, Best Game Direction, and Game of the Year, were a first for a Chinese game. Ultimately, we took home Best Action Game and Player's Voice. Especially winning Player's Voice was gratifying.
Yeah.
And this was a monumental success, say what you will, for the Black Myth Wukong. You know, their launch and everything. 2 million players at launch, that's just insane.
That was an insane number. Also, if you're making a speech, if you're making an early speech, I'm gonna let you know now, if you're making an early speech for like, yo, what if I win? What will I say? That's the most normal, wholesome thing that I've ever fucking heard. You're trying to make a speech like 2 years ahead of before the game's about to release, or before, you know, that sort of thing. You're working on Black Myth Wukong and you're working on a speech. See, literal fucking assholes will say that's fucking weird. But me, I find this kind of wholesome. As a matter of fact, if you're the CEO and I'm the game developer and I work with you and you're my boss, you better be this confident. I need that kind of confidence as not only as a teammate, but as a person who is my CEO. And I'm like, yo, man, we could do this, man. We could win this. We just need to work hard and you know, have fun, and let's do this. You need somebody who's that fucking either positive, confident, and to bring it to the table. Yes. You don't want somebody coming into work and be like, guys, just be who you want. Ah, yes, just make who you want. Don't be like Neil Druckmann. I would hate to work with Neil Druckmann, because I remember him saying like, I don't want to make games fun. I want to make them engaging. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Go take your ass on Big Bang Theory, the TV show, and stay there. Shut the fuck up. God damn.
Insane, and that shows the interest. And I get it. I can understand
boring
a lot
as
of people
hell.
are going to say it's just from China. A lot of those players came from, but there was still about 200,000-300,000 in the West and East and other places outside of China that were there day one. That is a massive launch for a single-player adventure game like this, and it was a big moment for the Chinese market within this industry. A breakout moment, you could argue. And they did, in fact, take home some hardware. Best Action Game. This is again.
Yeah, these are the developers. Look at them, they're super happy.
非常荣幸能够获得这个奖项。
Thank you, everyone. We are deeply honored to receive this
I love his shirt. Where can I get that? The one to the right. Yeah, that's a nice shirt.
awards. A heartfelt thank
Holy shit, it's that one boss with the bag. Yo, I really need that shirt. That's that one boss, the big fat baby dude.
thanks to every player. It's you who brought the tale of wisdom and courage rooted in Eastern mythology to life on this stage. And of course, a sincere gratitude to the Game Awards for not placing any invisible walls on my way up here. This award belongs to every single member of our team, as well as our family and friends who have supported us behind the scene.
I think that sound is the messed up the mic or something.
Without you, I'd be like sitting at home testing the boss rush mode and buffing along instead of standing here representing our team. Lastly, I want to say this. Our game isn't hard at all. It's perfect for players new to action games. Trust me on this. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, the
see,
squealing within the
That's the type of people that you want to work with. They're happy to be here. They can crack jokes. That's the type of people you want to work with. Yeah, that's... Jesus.
audio of the Game Awards for those watching and weren't watching live. It was annoying, but I will just say that
It
this
was from the
a
mic.
very important moment for them, and I think that they maybe assumed that after winning some of these awards, Best Action Game, Player's Voice, that maybe this was an indication that they were going to go on to win Game of the Year, and obviously that's not what happened. But the CEO's remarks goes on to mention that, yet I must admit there's a sense of loss and regret more than anything, though there's a letting go of a
Yet I must admit there's a sense of loss and regret. More than anything, though, there's a letting go of illusions. I guess my guess is He's letting go of the illusion that he would actually win, which is perfectly human. That's a grown up mentality that, like, yeah, you could win, you could lose, you could, possibly not become game of the year. So yeah, this is pretty normal human behavior.
Illusions. The games nominated this year were all exceptional, but honestly, I still can't figure out what the criteria was for Game of the Year. I feel like I came all the way here for nothing.
That right there is fucking true. Hold on. By the way, you probably can't see him. That right there is fucking true. Because not only I know why Astrobot is here, because the Western gaming industry can't make shit. Balatro is just there just to fill a spot. I believe Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Black Myth Wukong would have won. That's all I've been hearing about Twitter before this whole thing went down. Is, it's Rebirth. Oh, it's Black Myth Wukong. Oh, it's Rebirth. Nobody in that whole list of people nobody has said Astrobot. In any of like the social media things, nobody has said Astrobot. But you know who has said Astrobot? The Access Media. And guess how much of the voting the Access Media takes from like any of the voting? 90%. You know how many votes you get as a whole? Everybody, the 100 million people that have watched the show? That's right, 100 million. I think I just said it. I just said it, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Anyway, yeah, 100 million people only fit the 10% poll of voices. The only one, and this is the funny part, the only one that did like fucking that was completely free is the Player's Choice. And I gotta tell you something. The Player's Choice Award. So what about all the other awards? Are they not Player's Choice? Of course fucking not. That's Access Media Choice Awards. Your choice don't fucking matter. Unlike the real election, it's too big to rig. But with the fucking Game Awards, it's hella easy to rig. As a matter of fact, they've openly admitted it. They even hid the people that were part of the Access Media that literally vote on what games should actually be nominated. They not only vote who's nominated, they also vote on who to win. What the fuck, bro? IGN can go up there and be like, yeah, we're going to put Astrobot up there. Okay, cool. So who are you voting on? Yeah, I'm going to vote on Astrobot. What the fuck? And also, DLC, nobody thinks that should be there. That's the stupidest shit ever. And I'm gonna keep it level with you. Remakes and remastered should not also be up there either. You've already had your time to shine. Jeez. Feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
And that's crazy. And the CEO mentions how he has seen a lot of strong dissatisfaction and frustration in players' comments, which he says were expressed humorously or ironically. We've seen it transpire with a review bombing of Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam, and that actually is indeed something that has happened. And this is all because of these remarks coming from Larian boss Swen Vincke got mistranslated, or I guess the sentiment, just Chinese audience didn't understand it, but it was actually a powerful...
Yeah, Swen Vincke made a very powerful speech at the end for Game of the Year, and it was a big eye opener for Western developers to wake up and make games. It's that simple, and I guess it was lost in translation, and Chinese like gamers probably went to the reviews in Steam and kind of berated the place.
Powerful moment in which Swen Vincke really called out the AAA gaming industry, a lot of publisher greed. And Swen Vincke pretty much said this: "The Oracle told me that the Game of the Year 2025 next year is going to be made by a studio who found the formula to make it up here on stage. It's stupidly simple, but somehow it keeps on getting lost. The studio makes a game because they want to make a game they want to play themselves. They created it because it hadn't been created before. They didn't make it to increase the market share. They didn't make it to serve the brand. They didn't have to meet arbitrary sales targets or fear they'd be laid off if they didn't meet those targets." Again, a very powerful moment against the AAA games and gaming industry, and this is something that Swen Vincke has been voicing for the last year or so, since Baldur's Gate 3 became kind of like the new standard, which is really an old standard. But yeah, the Chinese audience very much, the sentiment just, maybe it was mistranslation or something, but yeah, there was a review bombing on Baldur's Gate 3 Steam page by Chinese players, and as it's explained here, for many Chinese users, Vincke's pre-award speech, which emphasized creating games not just for profit, was seen as hypocritical, almost as if it was directed at Black Myth Wukong. This backlash, however, appears to stem from a poor translation of Vincke's speech, which led to misunderstandings. The tone and sarcasm in his comments were lost in translation, causing confusion among viewers, thus the review.
You want to know the funny thing is? That's the same thing that IGN had, where they were just like, "Oh man, these people are misogynist." And I'm over here. First of all, being misogynist is not illegal, is not a legal or illegal action. People can hate women if they want. The only thing is you don't put your hands on a woman, without their consent. That's completely two different things. You can hate whatever the fuck you want. But they kept on saying like, "Oh, well, they're misogynists and they said this," and then they pulled up a thing that was they thought in Chinese this meant this, and I was like, "Motherfucker, that's not what they said," and it said something completely different that was wholesome about the gaming community. And then they, you know what they did? They hid. IGN just fucking hid, and then I was like, "Nah, son. You spread fucking misinformation. You should apologize." Did they apologize? Fuck no.
Bombing, although some have suggested that the negative reviews from Chinese users were due to a poor translation of Vincke's words, which failed to convey the sarcasm in his remarks. The situation remains noteworthy. And again, the other remarks that he said in this pre-award speech to Game of the Year, in which Vincke was given a little bit longer because last year, again, that infamous "please wrap it up," I guess Keighley wanted to make it up to him. But furthermore, the people in charge forbade them from cramming the game with anything whose only purpose was to increase revenue and didn't serve the game design. They didn't treat their developers like numbers on a spreadsheet. They didn't treat their players as users to exploit, and they didn't make decisions they knew were short-sighted in function of a bonus or politics. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, the revenue will follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun, and they realized that if developers don't have fun, nobody was going to have any fun. They understood the value of respect, that if they treat their developers and players well, the same developers and players would forgive them when things don't go as planned. But above all, they cared about their games because they love games. It's really that simple. This was a powerful moment, a powerful speech against a lot of the greed that's happening within this industry, and really making an observation that, yeah, 2025 isn't going to have some, AAA slop up there as Game of the Year nominee. It's going to be a team, a passionate team that gets nominated, which I very much agree with. But unfortunately, obviously, I think some of this got lost in translation, and some took it as a direct shot at Black Myth Wukong, and I guess I could somewhat understand that. But getting back to the CEO's remarks, again, he had a lot more to say. He said, "I completely understand these feelings and share the frustration, because behind these emotions lies not pain or malice, but dignity and confidence. When you're so confident and yet don't receive the recognition you expected, it's natural to feel upset."
Yeah, that's
Personally,
normal.
I'm even more confident that most of you, as you can see from my first ever answer on Zihu. In fact, I wrote my Game of the Year acceptance speech 2 years ago only to never get the chance to deliver it.
Yeah.
During the development of this game, many of my colleagues weren't as optimistic as I was. Having tested so many interim builds, they couldn't help but focus on the game's flaws and doubt whether we could meet the deadlines. One of my main roles in the company was reassuring everyone we're doing great in the product.
That I literally just said it. The team didn't feel optimistic about what they were making, and their leader, their CEO, stepped up to the plate and became a leader. He instilled confidence in his team to make them push forward. This story alone should make you Game of the Year. All right.
Moving. Because here's the thing, you can't be confident when you've already won. That's not confidence, that's parroting results. Sure, we lost today, we might lose again tomorrow, so what? There are countless factors that influence outcomes, and results are always uncertain. What we can control is choosing what we do, tackling real challenges, doing hard things, pursuing what we believe in when you're doing these things, and you should absolutely have confidence. And the big thing a lot of people are talking about is this specific part of his remarks, because he has more. We're going to get into that in a second, but he says, I still can't figure out what the criteria was for Game of the Year.
We could talk about
that's something that is up for debate, but it is worth mentioning what happened pre-launch to Black Myth Wukong. Even it being nominated was something that was seen controversial in the eyes of some in games media. These were some of the headlines. If Black Myth Wukong isn't nominated for Game of the Year, fans are going to be insufferable. And then they pointed out that some of the media outlets...
You're not a gaming journalist if you say stuff like that. You're supposed to be unbiased. This is not a game journalist. It's called The Gamer. Yeah, The Gamer. You're not really a game journalist. You're just a vlogger. And that's fine. I'm doing the same thing that Alana Pierce and fucking what's his name? Jaffe does. Where you keep on doing like a compliment fucking sub combo. Where you instead of a compliment sandwich, it's a compliment fucking combo sub. It's like, bro, your game is trash, but it's fine though. But I don't want you to win because you're insufferable. But you can be nominated though, so there is a chance that you can make it. It's like... You see what I'm saying? I hate that shit. I hate when people do that shit. I never want to be friends with people like that.
But didn't even nominate it, such as Polygon recently updated its Game of the Year frontrunners list, while the Golden Joystick Awards also announced its 6 nominees for this year's PC and console Game of the Year categories. Black Myth Wukong is nowhere to be seen outside of smaller categories. And then it pointed out that some people have said that it's being rigged against the Black Myth Wukong team. We saw Polygon. Black Myth Wukong is one of the lowest rated Game of the Year nominees in Game Awards history, and this was a headline that we saw from a number of outlets pointing out...
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to know something. All of these articles from IGN IGN has acquired Eurogamer, Game Informer, VG247, Rock Paper Shotgun, and even more. Even more. Who else did they also earn? Or earn, I don't know. And Dicebreaker. Nobody knows about Dicebreaker. Yeah, they own all these different publications, Game Industry Biz, all these different places. And these different places talk to each other. So, I'm looking at this, and I'm just saying, why are they saying the same thing before the Game of the Year awards come out? And then it starts to become like some sort of pattern where they're berating and lambasting certain video games for no apparent reason other than... We see gamers have fun, therefore we want this shit down. That's it. That's it. No, they don't like it. It's the weirdest shit ever, especially with IGN's bullshit that they pulled with that mistranslation. See, this is why IGN just had to lay off so many fucking people, because they're fucking clowns. Yeah, if you got fired from IGN, go make my fucking coffee. Yeah, you're working at Starbucks. Go make my fucking coffee.
That once it was nominated, a lot of these outlets saying that it didn't make any sense. Yeah, again, Game Rant, Black Myth Wukong's Game of the Year nomination sticks out like a sore thumb.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You need to start noticing patterns. It does not. it's only to you. It's just a sore. It's just, you want to know why they're not they're being lambasted by all these different articles? Easy. It's not. It's here's another one of those moments again. Here's Mr. Hardcore's moment where he says something that sounds outlandish, but it might be true. They do it because they see Black Myth Wukong as not being inclusive enough, not being equitable, not having equality or diversity on a monkey game. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's fucking true. I can't fucking believe. I sound like a fucking
rant,
idiot.
Or the gamer saying Black Myth Wukong's Game of the Year nomination proves it's gaming's Barbie. And then Screen Rant again. This is what I mean about the hate campaign that has happened with Black
Myth Wukong review. The Souls-like action hype train is a little off the rails. Yeah, it sold more than 2 million copies in one day. Yeah, I know, it's off the rails. It's crazy pants. It's crazy. Oh my god, it's crazy. What you talking about? What you talking about, Screen Rant? Can I talk to everybody about Screen Rant? You want to know what they have said before? You want to know... See, this is how you know this Screen Rant is just a bunch of fucking idiots. Not only did they vote Space Marine 2 a low fucking score... We know why. I just told you. Well, Screen Rant said... Here it is. Here it is. Is it? Is it? Ah, no. No. I might have been wrong. No. It is Screen Rant. No, it's the comic book resources like site. CBR. I made a mistake. I got it wrong. Are they the same people though? No, I don't think CBR. Well, hold on. Screen Rant. Oh. I gotcha. Hold on. Screen Rant. Yeah, they're both owned by the same parent company. So yes, whatever. Screen Rant and Comic Book Resources are basically the same company. Yeah, I can say what I'm about to say. Basically, what Hold on. Here it is. I could show you now. Here it is. There it is. 15 ways Lord of the Rings has aged poorly. I want you to look at that title real quick. Just let that sink in. You know what I mean? Just let it sink in. The same people that run with Screen Rant are the Comic Book Resources. So yes, this is also Screen Rant. Screen Rant said 15 ways Lord of the Rings has aged poorly. Do you think I'm gonna take you seriously when you say shit like this? No, I'm not gonna take you seriously. No. And now you say the Souls-like action hype train is off the rails? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't know that you were allergic to fun.
with Wukong. Some of it makes no sense, because if you're going to bring up open critic review scores, these were some of the actual reviews that contributed to this game being the lowest rated game.
Damn.
And this was Screen Rant's review. They gave it a 6 out of 10, and one of their big cons of the game was lacking in inclusivity and diversity.
I'm right every fucking time and I hate it. I'm right every fucking time and I hate it. Jesus fucking Christ. I want to say something that's normal, like something where it's like, what do you mean it's got inclusivity? It's got different species and animals and different people in the game. No, I'm not going to say that pussy shit. What I'm going to say is, you can fuck off with this inclusivity bullshit. I know you're doing it just for money points. Jesus fucking Christ.
That was the reason why they gave the game a 6 out of 10, and that very much calls into question a lot of the reviews that are, you know, submitted to Open Critic. And that's why I said that the review process is very much, there's so many problems with it, and that's why when you have headlines like this, it doesn't show the whole story. And that's why
Black Myth Wukong is the Game of Year Awards lowest rate. Wow. No, we already saw the Polygon comic book. Black Myth Wukong doesn't deserve a Game Awards. What the fuck is it, bro? Bro, when you see something like this, I want you to know that these are probably not gamers. You know what they are? They're activists. They're not journalists. They're not here for any sort of art material. They are here to just activate. Where are the trans? Where are the trans? First of all, nobody cares about Kotaku saying Wukong is the game, a Game Awards lowest ever rated game of the year. Who told you that, bitch? Who told you that? This is. You want to know the funny thing is? Each and every one of these journalist like sort of bullshit. See, this is why there's a journalist explosion, not an implosion. It's an explosion. All these people getting layoffs. It's because when you lie like this, when you lie this much as a journalist, then it turns out that you're going to lose money. This is what happened in the election. This is what's going to happen here. Everybody knows this. What has my mom taught me? My mom taught me, hey son, just to let you know, if you lie to a woman, eventually they'll find out. And she was fucking right. And she was fucking right.
why, again, Black Myth Wukong did end up actually winning at the Golden Joysticks. It won 2024 Game of the Year.
Good.
So maybe the team really did think that this was going to be a continuation that happened across, you know? So I don't exactly understand the mockery of these developers that are happening right now, because they're...
You understand it. You understand it. This guy knows.
upset or we're crying, because they definitely are very, very much passionate. And then this is the voting jury. This is something I talked about beforehand, but some of this also, again, it does.
This is the gaming jury right here. Easy allies. Can you guess what easy allies means? Yes. Yeah, that thought right in your head. Nope, it's not that. It's exactly what you're thinking. Some of these jury people are not even gamers.
Does call into question, what is this criteria? Why are some of these individuals even having a voice in this? I want to see more gaming, you know, YouTubers, actual content creators have a say in this, rather than fucking Entertainment Weekly, who barely has any role in the video game industry. And then some of these other outlets, like, you can have your problems with some of these outlets because of some of their coverage, but some of these aren't even, they barely talk about video games.
Can you guess what pride means? Can you guess what pride means? Oh, look, there's Kinda Funny. You know that one channel that has low viewer scores on their YouTube channel, and turns out they're not funny? Yeah. Does anybody know Min Max? Nobody knows Min Max. LA Times? People know LA Times, not for gaming. So you start to notice certain patterns, and it all develops into one thing and one thing only. Money and power, baby. Money and power. Is the Game Awards really Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards? No, it's Kind of funny. Pride, Polygon, IGN, Rolling Stones. Why is Rolling Stones here? So you start to understand like the gist of it all.
LA Times, Rolling Stone.
PC Gamer's the only one that makes sense, but even they're a piece of shit. Touch, NPR, and Variety Magazine is here? Bro, I'm done with this. Is the last time I'm watching the Game Awards. I'm done. The Variety one kind of hurt. Yeah, I'm done.
NPR, Variety, The Atlantic, and specifically Variety. Let's look at some of their gaming coverage recently. They talked about their top 10 video game leaders. Who you're thinking about that? Just put some images in your head. Maybe the Hauser brothers, Todd Howard, I don't know.
Top Variety Entertainment Gaming Leaders list. Motherfucker, I know you're not putting Neil Druckmann on there. Motherfucker. Fine. Recognized for Uncharted and The Last of Us 1. But part 2, nigga? And now they're going to get Intergalactic, the bald sequel to fucking Last of Us Part 2? I just made that up. Kojima's the only one that makes sense. Who's this white bitch? She ain't playing fucking video games.
Just actual video game people. Gabe Newell, Swen Vincke. These are the people they came up with. We have first a Lucasfilm executive. These are supposed to be the top 10 entertainment gaming leaders. Lucasfilm executive starts this off. Next one, Matt Booty, who has run Xbox into the ground, is their second.
Why is Matt Booty here? He has run Xbox to the fucking ground. Get him out of here.
Third one.
The reason that his name is Matt Booty is because he's shit. Neil Druckmann. I'm going to duck every fucking one of his games.
Neil Druckmann, at least it's a game developer, I suppose, although, again, Neil. Third one, we have a video game streamer who opened an indie studio like 2 months ago.
Nah, that sounds like a fucking scam. Why are you here?
Sure, that makes sense. We couldn't go with Donkey, who's had a, indie
2 months ago
that created one of the best indie games of the year with, was it Animal Well? Sure, whatever. Next one, we have Hideo Kojima, again, actual developer that probably does deserve here. One of the only one that actually makes sense. Christian Link, head of animation studio, Riot Games. And then we have an executive producer at Blizzard. We have
crazy.
An EA executive. We have a chief revenue officer at Scopely. And then we have an executive at Disney. That is your list of the top 10 entertainment gaming leaders. What a shit list. And again, this is like an entire team at Variety that came up with this. And these are the same individuals that have a say in who wins Game of the Year. And I just find that absolutely insane. And that goes back to the point of why are these individuals having a say in Game of the Year, and why do they?
Gaming Bible? You motherfuckers don't believe in the fucking Bible. Don't pull this bullshit on me. Don't act like you're good now. No, stop. Oh, look, there's VG247. That's also owned by IGN. Oh, shit. Oh, man, everything's starting to make sense.
They have so much of a say, and that is my problem with this. Again, Guardian, Metro, The Mirror, some of these outlets, there's just no reason why they should have a say, in my opinion. And that's why I think criticism of the Game Awards in this regard is very, very much valid. But getting back to the Black Myth Wukong CEO's remarks, he does continue. He talks about how their success is not a fluke, but the inevitable outcome of Chinese culture, talent, and business environment. Feng Ji thinks this is but the start, as more Chinese studios will bring high quality and engaging Chinese stories to the world. And we've actually kind of already seen that just this month alone. Obviously, it's not a single player, story driven, high quality. It's still a free to play game, but it is very much a game that has caught on. And what I'm talking about is Marvel's Rivals, which has very much taken the hero shooter by the balls in some regards. I mean, 500,000 players at launch, that is a huge achievement, and it does some great things that I think we're not seeing from other Western studios, and it's bringing true competition to Overwatch, which I think at this point may be badly needed, especially with some of the recent content updates and really just the nature of Overwatch 2, which has disappointed gamers in a variety of ways.
You know what the gamers should put up on here? The gamers should put up on here, since it's also another Chinese studio and it doesn't have any inclusivity and diversity, it should be Marvel Rivals reaches nearly 500,000 concurrent Steam players. But that might be problematic. Just say some stupid shit like that. Just say something stupid. Just be like, Marvel Rivals has a lot of people on here and it's going off the rails. This could be problematic. Fucking, oh man.
Evidence of that is just look at the Steam reviews, even the current ones. But yes, Marvel Rivals comes from NetEase, and that was a massive success story.
I love Punisher.
Another Chinese studio, another Chinese success story, and hopefully we'll see more of that in the future. More high quality experiences from markets that haven't typically done that. That's encouraging, and I want to see that. Whether that be China, whether that be India, whether it be wherever. But the CEO goes on to say that some have said that a team with no prior experience in single player games achieving such success on their first attempt is rare, unrepeatable fluke. I'd like to say this was no fluke. It's the inevitable outcome of Chinese culture, talent, Chinese business environment, China's gaming industry.
Of course, it's complete talent. Chinese people, whether you like it or not, they're really focused and they like to, they're actually really progressive with how they do things. Their work ethic in China is really everything. You want to know the funny thing? You want to know the biggest thing that Chinese people want to be? The biggest thing that Chinese people, men or women, they either want to be a doctor or an engineer. You want to know the biggest thing that children want to be in America? A fucking streamer. Yeah, we're making it. Yeah, we're making it over here. Yep. It's cool. It's great.
And gamers worldwide coming together. If we hadn't recognized this inevitability early on, we wouldn't have been so determined to make this choice. This wasn't a gamble, it was following the tide of history. Game science is fortunate to have participated and witnessed the beginning of this tide. I believe many more peers will in the future bring high quality, more engaging, and more content. And that is music to my ears. You know, more good games for everybody. I don't see why anybody wouldn't want that. And then he did end his rant on a good note, as it mentions here. Feng Ji acknowledges how the studio's ability to make and play games already makes them fortunate.
Yeah.
In truth, just being able to make and play games already makes us incredibly fortunate. In this world, many people have never even had the chance to play so-called AAA games, never used a console or computer, and feel lost, pained, or even despairing in the face of their circumstances. Many are suffering from hardship and injustice.
Yeah.
Precisely because of this, we must strive to create better games, ones that bring truth, goodness, and beauty to more people. I've always believed that the greatest value of good games lies in making happiness for more evenly distributed in this world. The road ahead is long, the winds is still fierce, the demons still arrogant, but we are always growing stronger. And he closes by saying he hopes the story of Black Myth Wukong can give some courage to those who are feeling lost and perhaps shed a bit of light for those still groping in the darkness. Then with a calm heart, we can all keep moving forward, which is
this is amazing right here. Well, where's all that negative, that weirdness that people were talking about? Oh, the game developer was crying because he lost. He's a bit of a fucking psycho. He's a bit weird. He needs to get a grip. I'm starting to realize who exactly I should start talking to. When I notice certain patterns with how people talk, you might start to notice that their toxic positivity ain't helping anybody. But anyway, that's all I got to show you for today. This is a really good reaction. I'll show you guys. I'll share this with you if you want to look at this yourself. His name is Legacy Killer HD. Really good dude. I like the fact that out of all the YouTubers, he talks about everything. And I like it when people talk about everything. I do not like to be around certain people that go, oh, you like to talk about that? Well, I don't like to talk about that. That seems weird. You guys are this or that. What kind of, I don't like to be around fucking weirdos like that, okay? It's like, I like to be around people that like to have certain conversations. If you close yourself off certain conversations, well then I guess I lost a potential friend then. Anyway, guys, that's my hard rant. We're going to play some Solasta and play some video games.